Mameva pratyakshan brahma vadishyami Ratam vadishyami Satyam vadishyami Tanmamavatu Tadvaktaramavatu Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram Om Shanti 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 Om Vang me manasi pratisthita Mano me vachi pratishthitam Aviravirmaedi Vedasya me anistha Shrutam me ma prahasi Aninadi tena ratram sandadhami Shrutam vadishyami Satyam vadishyami Tanmamavatu Tadvaktaramavatu Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaramavatu Vaktaram Om Shanti 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 Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Pranashchakshuh Srotramatho Valamindriyani Cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Ma Aham Brahma Nirakuryam Ma Brahma Nirakaroda Nirakaranastu Anirakaranam Me Astu Tadatmani nirateya upanishatsu dharmaste mai santu te mai santu Om Shanti 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 Om Madhuvatartayate madhuksharanti sindhavah Madhvirnah Shantoshadih Madhunakta Mutoshaso Madhumat Parthivam Rajaha Madhudyorastunah Pita Madhumano Vanaspatir Madhumamastu Suryaha Madhvirgavo Bhavantunah Om Madhu Om Madhu Om Madhu Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 So, welcome all of you to the spiritual discourse by revered Swami Jnana Prakashananda Ji Maharaj. We will introduce you to Swami Jnana Prakashananda Ji Maharaj with a short biography that we could gather. Swami Jnana Prakashananda Ji is popularly known as Mintu Maharaj to all the known devotees that have been acquainted with him. He is connected with the Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission, Dhaka, in Bangladesh, since 1975, more than 50 years now. He joined the Ramakrishna Order at the Dhaka Center in 1987 and was ordained the vows of sannyasa in 1996. Maharaj has lived in the Dhaka Center from 1983 to 2012. He was closely associated with Swami Aksharanandaji Maharaj, the president of the Dhaka Center at that time, as the personal sevak, secretary, caretaker, and contact person from 1975 for 36 long years till the senior Swami attained Mahasamadhi in 2011. In 2012, under his leadership, the Ramakrishna Ashrama and Ramakrishna Mission Jashore, which was running as a private center like ours since 1936, he led to its official affiliation to the Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission, Belur Math, in 1936, and Mintu Maharaj became head of the newly affiliated center. And within the next 2 years, in 2014, under the able leadership of Mintu Maharaj, the Ramakrishna Ashrama and Ramakrishna Mission Narail, Bangladesh, which was founded in 1928 and running as a private center till then, was officially under the leadership of Maharaj, affiliated to the Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission Belur Math as a sub-center of the Jashore Center. So today, as the head of these two centers, throughout Bangladesh and India, our dear and respected Mintu Maharaj is giving continued service to ever-increasing number of men and women of all religions. I would briefly mention here that Maharaj has actually written 5 books in his name, 3 were researched by him. Bangladeshe Sri Ramakrishna Avatar Parshad Brinda, the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna in Bangladesh, and Sri Ramakrishna himself. The next one, Bangladeshe Sri Ma Sharoda Devi Avatar Shishyoder Smriti Mala. So the visit of Sharoda Devi in Bangladesh, and in Bangladesh, and the devotees and disciples of Holy Mother Sharoda in Bangladesh, their reminiscences have been compiled by him with a lot of research in that book, also in Bengali. The third book is Bangladeshe Swami Vivekananda and Ebong Tar Shishyo o Samokalin Anuragi Brindo. Same, Swami Vivekananda actually visited in Bangladesh in 1901. So his reminiscences and his disciples and contemporary persons who were very much devoted to Swami Vivekananda, their reminiscences have been compiled in that book. And 2 other books. One is on Swami Aksharanandaji Maharaj, his reminiscences or memoirs, because he has spent 36 long years with him. So it is known as Smriti Aloy Swami Aksharanandaji Maharaj, in the light of my remembrances of Aksharanandaji Maharaj. And the last one is Mahashaktir Vichitro Prakash, the beautiful manifestation of the divine power, the divine mother, the divine almighty. That is the name of the last book that he has compiled. So without further ado, we welcome Swami Gyana Prakashanandaji Maharaj at the Vedanta Society of Calgary I must mention here that it is with sincere humility we accept the blessings of Thakur, Ma, and Swamiji showered upon us through the august presence of Swami Jnana Prakashananda ji, and that is how we welcome revered Swami Jnana Prakashananda ji Maharaj to the Vedanta Society of Calgary. The subject today, as we all know, is Sri Ramakrishna, the divine eraser of destiny. In Bengali, it is called Kapal Mochan Sri Ramakrishna.
ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। ॐ यथाग्निर्दाहिका शक्ति रामकृष्णे स्थितः सर्वविद्यास्वरूपं शरदं प्रणमाम्यहम्। ॐ नमो श्री ज्योतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चिदसुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे। First of all, I want to pronounce to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother Sharda Devi, and Swami Vivekananda Ji. Then I gratitude to Sri Anitban Bosu, President, Vedanta Society of Calgary, and all devotees who are Sri Ma Sharda Devi's Thakur and Swamiji's. Today, discussion on divine reason of destiny is a very important subject in the present perspectives. Bengali name Kopal Mochan Sri Ramakrishna. What is Kopal Mochan? Kopal meaning forehead. Kopal Mochan literally means act of erasing of eraser. We know that when we are born in this earth, the fate writer in Bengali writes out what all we have to do as a record on our forehead. That is the reason why people in Bengal know that there is a ritual called Sosti in Bengali, performed on the sixth day of our birth. We also know that our prarabdha karma, the events that we have to go through in our lives, those events cannot be stopped from happening. But Sri Ramakrishna was such an incarnation of divinity and omniscient being who could completely erase the events destined to be happening in our lives and write a new version of events that would completely transform us. One day, the famous drama teacher Girish Chandra Ghosh and Sri Ramakrishna Dev are having a conversation. Girish Ghosh says, "Revered sir, if you so desire, you can render liberation, freedom, everything from the blade of grass, smallest of the small, right up to the colossal pillar with easy." So Ramakrishna mysteriously replied, "No, Girish, that does not happen. There are a few types of trees who do not change. When the wind carrying sandalwood blows, then all trees should become sandalwood trees, but not all trees are not converted into sandalwood trees." Girish Ghosh persistently says, "Sir, you can transform everything if you only desire to do so." Ramakrishna, "Why do you say so, dear?" Girish Ghosh reminds him, "Have you forgotten, sir? In Dakshineshwar, Rani Rashmani's son-in-law, Mudranath Vishwas, one day while strolling in the veranda, was saying to you, your divine mother, Bhavatarani Ma, can she, by her mere wish, grow in the stalk of a red hibiscus flower, a white hibiscus flower? Remember, we are not talking of recent times, but 19th century Bengal. Nowadays, there are easy ways of doing so through specific cutting and cutting methods. In those days, nobody knew such methods. Then Ramakrishna gives short scripts reply. If mother wishes, what cannot happen? Mudranath argues, what? Anything can happen if mother wishes so? Is it possible to violate rules and laws? So Ramakrishna Dev kept quiet and did not reply. Next morning, when he went to the garden, he found two different colored hibiscuses, red and white, blooming in the same spot. And he did not separate the flowers, but broke the complete twig. When Mudranath Vishwas arrived, Thakur went to him and said, hey dear, now do you see? If mother so wishes, what can happen? Mudranath, how did this happen against the rule? Is that possible? Sri Krishna Dev says, look, one who creates the law can erase the law, break the law, and also amend the law. But one who is subject to the laws, it is not possible for him to break it. Now, for whom is the law not applicable? The law is not applicable for a child, for an innocent person, and for the knower of Brahman, the call of go, Brahma go. A child is above the law. We see that even if in the material world a child commits a crime, the judge does not send him to jail, but sends him to juvenile correction center and someone's supervision for an innocent person. As he has abnormal mind, his actions cannot be treated as those of a normal person. So he is also re- re- released from the court to be taken care of medically. Similarly, for the Brahmogo, they have a resemblance sometimes to the child, at times to the innocent. However, the child remains a child, the innocent remains an innocent, but a Brahmogo is omniscient person, Tikalogyo. He knows the past, looks at the present, and foresees the future. Sri Krishna Dev is that omniscient being Tikalogyo. So everything is possible for him. So Girish Ghosh says, for you the rules does not exist. If you wish, you can erase everything. Sri Ramakrishna quietly tried to analyze the words of Girish as he clearly sees the intensity of faith and the full depth of understanding with which Girish Ghosh is speaking. Thakur did not want to change his point of view. The next moment, Girish Ghosh speaks his mind and about his own self. You heard, son, what I was and why I have become. It is only because of you. What was written on my forehead? I, Girish Ghosh, everyone knows the place where I put sit on will becomes unholy up to 25 cubits away. There is no such heinous crime that I have not done. That is why my idea is that there is no space for me in the heaven. But now, by continuously contemplating you, contemplating on you, by always thinking of you, How I have transformed, you know that better than I do. Girish Ghosh continues the narration shortly afterwards. He invited Sri Ramakrishna Dev to watch the play Chaitanya Lila. Thakur went with his whole team of his followers and devotees. Soon as they reached, Girish Ghosh took all of his team members freely to the box seats in the opera. But then Girish approached Thakur and said, "No, it will not be free for you. You need to pay for the ticket." Sri Ramakrishna replied in surprise, "What is this? You are harassing me after inviting me?" Girish goes, "I do not want to hear anything. You will watch the play, so you need to buy a ticket." Sri Ramakrishna, "What is the price of the ticket?" Girish goes, 16 annas. Sri Ramakrishna Dev said to his nephew Hridayaram, "Hriday, do you have a few pennies?" Hriday took out a few pennies from the cloth around his waist and started counting the annas. When he was about to pay 16 annas, Vishnu spoke the perfect words. "I am not a fool. I did not ask for 16 annas from you. 1/16 anna knowledge, 16 annas devotion, 16 anna faith. Dear Thakur, I did not ask the material 16 annas as many from you." Sri Ramakrishna Dev ecstatically lifted up both his hands and uttered Tathastu. So be it. Then Girish Ghosh took Ramakrishna Deva to be seated in the costliest opera box. Thakur, while watching the play, Chaitanya Lila completely engrossed. At times, he is in joyful state. Sometimes he is in Samadhi state, again coming back from Samadhi to since he continued watching. At the end of the play, when he was taken to the green room for the refreshment, the actress Notimi Nandini is the first one who came running to Sri Ramakrishna and asked him, "How did you feel seeing the play?" Thakur, "Original and the imitation merged into each other. They have become identical." When does the merging of original and imitation mean? No Vinodini, the imitation enacted the role of the original Chaitanya Deva. And Sri Ramakrishna Deva had himself earlier had the divine vision of the original Chaitanya Deva personally. When Vinodini bowed down and touched Thakur's feet, he said to her and through her, "As may your consciousness manifest." What is consciousness? Do not we have consciousness? Yes, we do have awareness related to properly wealth and assets. But the blessings of Sri Ramakrishna focused on Vinodini was to have consciousness regarding the Almighty. You may ask, why to Vinodini? As an example of these times, we know that Noti means one who is associated with theater and many other wrong things not clearly known to us, but which can be defined superficially to be a defective person. It was not only meant for her, but also for us. As in this world, mostly we are of that level. None of us are flawless like than holy Tulsi leaf. Maybe we are less imperfect than her. When it is said to highly imperfect person, it is easily inspiring to us common persons. That is why when he focuses on Notivinodini and addresses her, he also wants the whole world to be inspired by those saying, "Why does the divine incarnation come among us?" to show the right path as the world drowns in the world of desire. He shows us the path of transcend ourselves from these worldly desires. If we do not manifest the consciousness, the knowledge about God, then there is no liberation with this in mind. For the first time, Sri Ramakrishna told Noti Vinodini, may your consciousness manifest. We also know about the incident of 1st January 1886, where the same utterance was made with Girish Babu in focus. After Vinodini, the entire Girish Ghosh asked, how was the play? Thakur, excellent, excellent. Original and imitation alike. Girish Ghosh, are you happy? Thakur, delighted. Yes, I am. I have been very happy. Girish Ghosh, then give me a boon. Thakur was relishing the food served to him, Bengali called luchi, the deep fried puppet bread, vegetables, sweet, etc. They were having conversation over food. Girish Ghosh, then when you are happy, give me a boon. Thakur, what kind of boon? Girish Ghosh, in the next life, you will be coming as my child. Now, Ramakrishna is ever free. He can never be bound by any bindings. He can never give any to such a demand. So Thakur said, I do not care a pig for being your child. Girish Ghosh was mostly in a drunken stupor. He could not control himself to remember not to be harsh and disrespectful to Sri Krishna Deva, and said, as I am a Kayet and you a Brahman, that is why you refuse to be my child. You do not have to eat. He kicked so hard that the food and the utensils all were scattered. Sri Krishna in a childlike manner said, you did not allow me to have this Lucy buffet blood bread. Hridayaram angrily pulled Thakur's hand and said, get up. You do not have to have food in a drunkard's house. Let's go. Even when Hridayaram is pulling him, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna Deva, although Srimani, unable to see seen in anyone, went on saying, it is not fault of Grish. My Grish has done nothing wrong. They are returning to Dakshineshwar on a horse-drawn carriage. But Girish was still not in his senses, and the situation was not going any better. His wife, Shurat Devi, came and asked him, what are you doing? Tomorrow every newspaper will be publishing that you have disrespected thus revered Sri Ramakrishna of Dakshineshwar and driven him away with insults while he was eating food at your place. When Shurat said, I will commit suicide, Girish came back to his senses as he laughed his second wife that night when he was about to consume poison while continuously uttering Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. All of a sudden, there was a noise of him hammering on the door. Sri Krishna, Girish, Girish, here I have come. The moment of the door opened, Girish Ghosh, by fall in for certain salutation, eliminated. Girish Ghosh said, if you had not come today, then I would believe that you are not purified of the fallen. You are a simple Brahmin priest. He went on expressing his inner thoughts. During this conversation, at a point came the topic of accepting a guru. Sri Krishna says, you have already received your guru. Girish Ghosh, how come? I did not realize. Ramakrishna, Guru is actually Ghatak. He connects God with his disciple, which has already been done for you. So cannot you chant a bit? Girish Ghosh, how? Ramakrishna, you may chant in the morning. Girish Ghosh, I am not in my sense then. Ramakrishna, in the evening, Girish Ghosh, I am during that time I am busy with theatre, folk theatre, etc. Ramakrishna, what about while going to the sleep at night? Girish, at that time I go to sleep drunk. By no way is it possible. By no way is it possible. Then Ramakrishna said, Bengali, Deshala tabe Bakalmate, and the power of attorney. What is Bakalma? Power of attorney. In those days, when Jomindar died and the child is a minor, so on behalf of him, the state manager takes care of legal formalities. Similarly, Thakur said, as you are unable to chant the name of God, I will chant on your behalf. Girish Ghosh was delighted and said, Oh, hold on. That's great. I do not have to chant morning or evening or night or pray. He will do on my behalf. He was too excited and said, Tathastu. He himself gave the Bokolma power of attorney to Thakur. But later on, Girish Ghosh said, if I had known that this would be the consequence of giving Bokolma, I would have sent it 1,000 times. Now look at that giving Vokalma means. It means that I do not exist in me anymore. My existence is focused only on Sri Ramakrishna. When I breathe, there is Sri Ramakrishna. While eating food, there is Sri Ramakrishna. When drinking, there is Sri Ramakrishna. All my actions, my everything is completely bounded by Him. Incessantly seeing Sri Ramakrishna everywhere I am becoming mad. Everywhere Jatra Datra Netra Pore, Tatra Tatra Ishwar Spure. One sees God in whichever direction the eyes move. He cannot, he cannot separate Sri Ramakrishna Deva's existence from his life after giving away the Bokolma. Ramakrishna says, he who thinks about someone intensely, he becomes that being, the way son inherits father's wealth. We have noticed that when one follows a player, he starts imitating his movements, his way of playing, etc. Even if one follows hero or heroine, automatically his or her mannerisms are adapted by the followers. Likewise, when someone intensely thinks about God and his consciousness, naturally God's qualities are reflected in the disciples' behavior. So Ramakrishna Deva's qualities, thought, process, and consciousness gradually developed in Girish Ghosh's character. To what extent? Sri Ramakrishna himself is saying, Girish is my Bhakta Bhairav. Lord Shiva's gatekeeper is called Bhairav, as well as one of his name is Bhairav. So when a common, simple man, drunkard, a man belonging to a lower stratum goes through such a transformation and reaches this Bhairava stage, the way a trash stone changes iron into gold. Girish Ghos's life also changed. He became a Mahapurush, great saint, as the came in the vicinity of Sri Ramakrishna to eat. Can we contemplate on these concepts? Beside on the thoughts, Girish Ghosh repeatedly says, Sir, everything about you is beyond all rules and laws. Hell was destined for me, the normal thing that were to happen in my life, and I know that wherever I appeared 25 cubits below the ground, it was impure. But in your contiguity, in our thoughts, and seeing you has changed me. Cannot you still understand that you can instantaneously render liberation, freedom to everything from the blade of grass, smallest of the small, right up to the colossal pillar with easy. We all know how changes occur in one's life. Now let me tell you how normal path of work changes. Let me share an event with you. A professional family guru, that is a spiritual guru of families through generations of those families, used to leave one of his disciples at the guru's home and went to other villages and downsides for giving initiation. On one such visit, the guru's wife, once on one such visit, the guru's wife, Guruma, gave birth to a boy child named Chaitanya. At midnight of the boy's birth, the disciples saw a saintly man in a luminous body was trying to enter the room of the child. He went ahead and stood before him. Disciple, who are you? The man, I am fate writer, Vidhata Purush. Disciple, so why are you here? Fate writer, I am going to write on the forehead of your spiritual brother today. What will happen with him in his future? When the man came out of the room, the disciple asked, what did you write? What did you write on my spiritual brother's forehead? Meditator, do not want to listen. Disciple, I want to hear. Meditator, he will have a heart with holes in the roof through which rainwater will fall inside, and it will be sporadic, and furthermore he will furthermore he will have a cow. Beside this I cannot see anything. Disciple, come on. Our master is such a religious man, and this is the son's fate. Fate writer, I have gone through that ledger and found the 8.4 million destined lives. I cannot give him anything better. Once the Creator disappeared, the disciple thought, how can I share his with my mentor? He did not tell his guru. He went, he went to thinking, this is the fate of such a pious manson. After 2 years, when the guru again went out from home to other villages for giving initiation, his wife gave, gave birth to a daughter. Again, the disciple stood before the fate writer. When he comes out, the disciple asks, what did you write? Fate writer, do not request to listen. She will beautiful like a celestial man, but will be fought over by people in the area, almost like a fallen woman. The disciple, what are you saying? This is the fate of my mother's children. Again, the fate reader says, I have gone through the ledger and found these 8.4 million distinct lives. I cannot give her anything better. Hearing the news, Guru's wife died while giving birth. And when Guru came to know, he also died. Only the two siblings were now left alone. The disciples stayed with them for a few days. Then, before going to Himalaya for religious prayer and meditation, the disciple gave some money to a neighbor and requested him to take care of the orphans. After 16 years, when the disciple came back from the Himalayas to the locality, he remembered the children of his master and thought to himself, how are the children of my Guru? From far away he could recognize the heart, which was in a bad shape, nothing special. He walked to the courtyard and called out, Choito, Choito. A girl of 18 to 20 years came out and stood. The disciple, so how are you doing? Choito, there is nothing much to say, brother. Look over there, a hot where water stagnate and there is a on cow. Somehow days are passing. The disciple, you had a sister, right? All her please. Sweeto, she is at home. But brother, do not try to find about her. The villagers fight over her, and most of them howls up drugs her to enjoy her. None of them to desire to marry her. This is her state of living like a fallen woman. With heavy heart, the disciple said, will you listen to whatever I say? Both of them agreed, yes, brother, we will listen. Disciple, you should listen carefully so that these things do not happen again. Disciple, Chaitanya, sell this cow and with that money buy groceries, as rice, pulse, etc. Keep a small amount for you both and distribute the rest among the poor. Do it every day. To the girl he said, do not move out from the house. I am giving you a sacred mantra which you will chant and meditate inside the house. Your brother will serve you food in the room. The disciple moved nearby in a hut which was close to Soitok's hut. After a few days, he saw a man with a cow coming every day and down to their house. According to the disciples' advice, Suitok sold the cow every day and brought rice, pulse, and kept the amount they needed and distributed the rest of the poor. Faith writer had once said that Suitok would have one cow, so every day he supplied a cow for Suitok. The girl did not come out from their room. After watching the same scene, every day the disciple went ahead and stood in front of the Petrator. Where are you going? Petrator, to your Guru Bhai. Disciple, but why? Petrator, you are the reason. He was living his life according to his destiny. Since you gave him advice, he sells a cow every day, but rice and pulses and distributes every poor person. I am tired to carrying this responsibility. Disciple, then do one thing. Whatever has been written as their destiny since then you do not have to carry the cow like a porter. Dictator said, Tathastu, so be it. From then on, Choitok had nothing to worry about. Neither did his sister. Choitok sold cow every day, brought rice, and free from lust or agreed gave away to people. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita, we have this sloka, Karmanne Vadikaraste Ma Phaleshu Kadachana, which means you have a right to action, but not to the fruits of action. Soitok rightly followed this. He distributed donations selflessly without attachment of the results. That has been transferred into worship. We in Ramakrishna Mission follow this as our ideal. We serve selflessly without any expectation in return. On the other hand, his sister, who is chanting in the room, is like a bhakti yoga, communion through devotion or faith. She received Bij Mantra, mystic syllable. Srima Sardevi used to say, Japat Siddhi, attain perfection through silent prayer, praying japa has used different form. Few do japa to show up with the pose in hand as if propagating her devotion to the world. Some talk, fight, go for marketing at the same time chanting. This is not the job Srimai speaks about. Job is provided by the Guru and also the way to chant. It has to be done by the way it has been taught by our master, if done with contemplating the Ishto in a luminous form, not in a dry, skinny form. While chanting continuously, then at some point in time, the Ishtodarshan happens inside himself. One perceives the luminous connotation in his heart. This is the actual method of chanting. Sri Saradama insisted in chanting as a means to obtain grace from God. Many people came to Sri Saradama complaining that the mind is not calm. She replied, try to chant 10,000 japa every day. Saradama herself chanted 1 lakh japa every day. Whoever was closely associated with Sri Ramakrishna, all of them experienced complete transformation for the better, just like the example discussed. Girish Ghosh and Kalipada Ghosh are known as Jogai and Madhai in the Ramakrishna order. As Jogai and Madhai came with Chaitanya Deva, both drunkards consuming alcohol. Similarly, in this era, the same person said Ghosh. Kalipada Ghosh was always known to Danakali. He used to work in a foreign company. When Ramakrishna met Kalipada Ghosh, whom Girish Ghosh had brought along with him to Dakshineshwar, Sri Ramakrishna, needing to be introduced, asked Girish Ghosh, who is he? Girish Ghosh, sir, I am local, he is foreign. Ramakrishna Dev passed him softly and said, even I am foreign. Do you understand what I mean? Girish Ghosh drinks local liquor and Kalipada Ghosh consumes foreign liquor. Ramakrishna, being very witty and frivolous, touched him and said, even I am foreign. Actually, how does a liquor affect? A drunk person loses control over the body, mind. That is why their legs swell. But even Thakur did not have control over his mind. How could his legs shake despite not consuming liquor? Once he went to Sharadama, she was in the room sweeping. Thakur touched her and said, you see, I am entering the room like a drunkard. Have I consumed liquor? Sima, being a fellow traveler on the same path instantly, replied, why should you drink? You have drunk Kali Mada's Bhavanambita. Whenever he thought of his God stimulated, he became overwhelmed and was not in himself. The picture of Thakur that is worshipped worldwide is the picture of the ecstatic state of Samadhi. His breath could not be perceived, eyes were still, no pulse could be felt. His soul, Atmaram, would merge with the Supreme Soul, Paramatman. So he did not have any external awareness at the time. This is the reason in Dakshineshwar they used to say, he dies 10 times, and becomes alive 10 times, which means that when he used to be absorbed in God and was in a state of samadhi, people said it was 10 times dying. When he came back to the material world, they said 10 times coming alive. This was his state of life. The swaying of his legs means whenever he would not be able to remain in the material body due to his absorption in divinity. His body would become untenable to naturally his legs would sway. But Kalipodho Ghosh had consumed so much liquor in his life, yet never felt intoxication of the level of Ramakrishna, which is due to God intoxication. The next day, they came back and told Ramakrishna Devi, you have to come to my residence, my house in Kolkata at Shampukurbati. Sri Thakur agreed. In the Chatni Ghat, a boat was already arranged. Danakali helped Thakur to sit on the boat. He instructs the boatman, the boat will neither go to the right nor to the left. Move to the center of the river. Sisi Thakur was in deep thought. Why such a provision? All of a sudden, Janakali posters and Thakur's feet and said, "O Lord, we know that you arrived to reach us. You are Patit Pavon, sanctifier of the unholy of sinful. Promise me that during my death you would hold my hand with one hand and hold a lamp in the other hand. Take me along. Promise me, promise me." Ramakrishna says, "Come near me. I will write a mantra in your tongue." Kalipada goes, "I do not want to know about this. I can visualize a death scene. I am passing through a ball of fire, experiencing unbearable pain. So I am requesting you that during my death you will hold my hand and with the other hand hold the lamp and carry me through the luminous path of your abode." Listening to Danakali heart wrenching yearning and sincerity, Sri Ramakrishna Deva said, "Tathastu." So be it. After this incident, many days after Thakur's demise, a day before Kalipada Ghosh's death, he said to his wife, "Tomorrow I will die." Wife, how is it? All of a sudden, with no symptoms of any sickness? Kalipada, listen to me. Soon he had a fever. Gradually, then temperature was high and getting higher. He was too weak from within. No sense. Suddenly he said, "Get a seat, get a seat. There, Thakur has come, Ma has come. Cannot you see?" Why? But I cannot see them. Kalipada, bring fast, they will leave soon. While speaking, all of a sudden, his right hand lifted up, and there was no life left in his body. He died. Ramakrishna had promised Kalipada Ghosh that in his last moments he would come during his death time. To keep his word, he took Danakali to his heavenly abode. Danakali's destiny was written in a different manner. He was a drunkard, usurer, and for all his imperfections. He was destined to be in hell, yet in return he went to Sri Krishna heavenly abode. This is the reason why Girish repeatedly said, "All of yours is illegal beyond all law." Now, let me share with you an amazing event before I end today's session. Once Mathuranath took Ramakrishna Deva to a brothel in Machua Bazar. Seeing the fallen woman there, Sri Ramakrishna Dev cried out like a child, "Ma, Ma." An intelligent one among the fallen women, named Padmurani, touched Thakur's feet to convey her salutation. At night, she saw Ramakrishna, a bright, luminous, smiling form, in her room, telling her, "Padma, come back to the mainstream society with your daughter. You are only two. You will survive." Padmarani had a growing young daughter. She did not want her daughters to follow her path, but as society will not accept her daughter, so she was worried. Omniscient Ramakrishna could understand the circumstances, so blessed her. But to verify his words, Padmurani went to Dakshineshwar in the last hours of the night. Sri Ramakrishna told her, "Whatever you have seen is absolutely true." After years, Padmurani's daughter dies of illness, and Padmurani used to sing the praise of Sri Sri Thakur play Ektara, single string instruments, as an act of worship. In her heart, she could incessantly visualize Ramakrishna in the bright, luminous, smiling form she saw in her room the first night. She was a fallen woman, knew no mantras to chant, did not know how to meditate. had nothing except holding incessantly the bright, luminous, smiling form of Ramakrishna in her heart. Even during her last moments, she kept on chanting Ramakrishna's name and breathed her last. She was destined to suffer in hell, yet she went to the abode of Ramakrishna. It was not an easy task for her, religiously and steadfastly for years. She chanted Thakur's name and created that wealth in her heart. We should not assume that Girish Ghosh, Kalipada Ghosh, Padmurani left this world for the abode of Ramakrishna at the drop of a hat. They created this treasure in their heart, treasure in their heart by contemplating Ramakrishna Deva in their heart with firm conviction. We might never reach their level, but it is possible if we think, contemplate, and meditate on Sri Ramakrishna and can create him as a treasure in our heart. Then, without doubt, even we can live with a bang beyond the world of suffering chanting Sisi Thakur's name. I can assure this is why Girish Ghosh says to Ramakrishna Deva, you are above logic, rule, law. You can completely erase one's destiny, infusing a new, transformed divinity in their lives. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Jai Shri Mahamaya Ki Jai जय भगवान श्री रामकृष्ण देव की जय जय स्वामी विवेकानंद जी की जय जय गंगा माई की जय
Can you can you take some questions?